Shut up and sit down.
Welcome everybody to the DwnFwdPUNChcast episode 13. It's a big episode. Everybody's doing it, but we have to do it too. Today is our supersized E3 predictions episode, and I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
Not in the least.
Well, good.
I'll be excited when E3 finally happens, but just keep with the whole, like, what's going to happen kind of motif that we run with on this show.
Well, you love speculation talk,
I love
so
it. I love it. It's all we
E3
ever
predictions
talk about.
is...
Oh, I mean E3, like this is the season for speculation. Everybody's talking. Where basically it's just an echo chamber where we're all saying the same thing.
I got some wild ones for you today that I think are going to happen. Yeah, that's
Good.
going to be pretty crazy.
I look forward to hearing it.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Well, I'm excited, and you should be excited too. So, before we get started, I want to remind you to like the video, share it with your friends, and hit subscribe. We're going to get into our E3 predictions in just a minute. I'm your host, Jason Saris, and with me are the voices of every 1950s silent cartoon, David Reed and Chris Saris. Like how I slipped that in there?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. See how I didn't talk to mimic the fact that I was in a silent film? And now I just
ignored
ruined
you
it.
when
I
you were
ruined the
talking.
whole thing.
Now just keep it up the rest of the episode. Yeah.
Here it goes.
I could just imagine later in the episode. And David, what do you think Nintendo's going to do?
Disappoint me
Yeah, probably.
constantly.
All right, so E3 is just around the corner. I think the official dates are what, June 13th through the 15th? I think that's the official timeline.
I think that's.
They're doing it at some weird days this year. I
It's
feel like.
really
Isn't it,
weird,
start,
yeah.
Sunday or something.
Yes, so
Normally it's like Friday through Monday.
normally it's like it's like 3 days long or a few days long or whatever, and now a bunch of people are starting like ahead of time. So I think Microsoft is going Sunday, which I don't even think is part of the official dates anymore, but is still E3. So everything's kind of get goofy.
Everyone just does what they want anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
A
like
lot of
there's
companies-
no order to E3. It's just like, here's a building. Hopefully you show up and put on a conference
Well,
show.
and consumers can go now too, at least a part of it, right? I mean, fans are.
Consumers can go to a lot of it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which didn't
but
used to be in the
good luck
past. I think it was
finding
just the last couple
tickets
years.
or getting anything cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like what Comic-Con has turned into.
Comic-Con,
Just a money sink.
it's true, but it's so fun. So good. So good.
Yeah, only when cool things happen to you that you
Oh,
can come home and tell people about.
It's true.
Like, I met Stan Lee. He was at a gas station.
He's going to be there this year.
In a gas station?
He's got to get gas at some point.
Wait, is he a robot? Does he have to fill up his heart or something? Keep the internal combustion going?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
How is he not dead yet?
He's very old. Anyways, so we're going to get into, I want to break this down and into the different entities that are going to be presenting within E3. This episode will probably be a little bit of a longer one. And we normally release all of our podcasts on Mondays, but because of the timing and everything, next Monday is going to be kind of in the middle of E3. So we probably won't have an episode next Monday, but then the following Monday, we can have all of our reactions. So I figured the best way to go through this is we'll kind of go by the group or the development company or whatever, and then round robin around, and maybe we won't all have predictions for all of them. A lot of this stuff is probably pretty common knowledge. So I'm considering a prediction like something that may be a little bit bold. Obviously, there are certain things that we believe will be inevitable, and those aren't really our predictions. We're just kind of throwing that out there for reference point. To give an example, like EA, they're the first company that's going. I'm sure we're going to see a Madden 18 and an NHL 18 and a FIFA and all this other stuff in there. So those wouldn't be really too much of a prediction to say, hey guys, we're getting Madden this year. Never going to believe it.
Dude, I usually go to the bathroom during that segment for a long time.
That is more than I ever cared to know about you. By the way, just because we say it doesn't mean it's happening.
Oh, no, it's happening.
We're three guys with very limited press access, so we have no inside scoop information really at all. So don't take our
You're
word
really
for anything.
selling this podcast.
Take our word for it. We are the actual authority on everything.
You want it, you tell us, we'll make it happen. So one thing that I thought was interesting that EA is maybe doing is I have heard that we know that they're working on some Star Wars things, right?
Yeah.
They have 2 Star Wars titles. There's the Battlefront 2, I think, is one of those, which, they'll probably announce officially or show us something of it.
Well, it's been officially announced.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
I mean,
it
show us
exists.
gameplay or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll
It'll be
see
like a
something
focal
about it.
point of the show.
Yes.
Right. So the other one is that one that Visceral has been working on, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is being headed up by Anne something or other. What's her name?
Hathaway.
Yes, Anne Hathaway. No, Amy Hennig, who was from Naughty Dog, and she was doing the Uncharted stuff.
Ooh, cool.
Right?
So it'll have a great story and terrible gameplay.
Well, here, so
Just an opinion. Just an opinion.
So we know that the people that are working on this are Amy Hennig, like I said, that was from Naughty Dog, and Jade Raymond, who was from the Assassin's Creed team at Ubisoft. So, there's expectations that this is going to be a pretty open world type Star Wars thing.
Okay.
There's been rumors that it may be something having to do with like a different kind of character, not just your normal like, hey, there's a Jedi, whatever. So here's my prediction. I predict it's going to be a focus on Han Solo, and here's why. I think that if you think about an Uncharted game, I can see you kind of basing a similar style game around Han Solo.
Sure.
Having a somewhat open world, kind of, adventurous kind of thing. Han Solo is, I think, a good kind of character to swap that style out for. But also, we got that Han Solo movie coming out not so long from now. So it fits by the time that this is done, because I can't imagine it's coming out this year.
That's a great prediction.
So I think I'm going to say it's going to be a Han Solo Star Wars game.
I like it.
You like
I
it?
actually would agree with your prediction.
What do you know? I'm sure we're still wrong. So anybody else have anything for EA? I mean,
I do think Battlefront 2 is going to be a big focus of their presentation.
Sure.
As it should be. Battlefront, the old Battlefronts were totally dope. I didn't play the newest one, but hopefully this one will be really cool, and maybe I will play this one. As for this other title, is it possible we could see there was a title, like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something, that ended up getting scrapped. And I think it was called like Star Wars like 1313 or something.
Yeah,
Do you remember
it was
this?
like the futuristic one.
Was it, Dave?
It's real
Was it
silly.
futuristic?
Yeah,
Technically,
futuristic Star Wars.
Technically,
It was
Star Wars takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far
That's
away.
right,
So
that's
futuristic would be a different term.
Right. Okay.
Well, all we really know or saw from it was just some concept art that was like a little bit gritty, kind of looked a little Blade Runner-y, and people were interested in it, but it ended up getting scrapped. Now, I don't really have any reason to think this could be making a comeback, but it could.
It very well.
Who knows?
It would be awesome, and maybe I'm alone in this, but it would be awesome if they announced that it is a Shadows of the Empire 2.
I was actually going to say that.
Were you really?
Yeah, but I
like that game.
I really enjoyed that game as well too. It was re-released on Steam recently.
Really?
Was it?
Oh, with updated
Dash
HD and
Rendar.
N64
Was
graphics.
was Dash Rendar killed in like a
Yes.
book somewhere
Oh,
or
well,
something?
at the end of Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, was that the end of I don't remember the ending of that game.
I beat it and I don't even remember that.
Yeah, because like the last mission is, I don't think it's the Death Star, but it's some like big, either space station or like
Yeah.
ship or something, and you have to fly through, destroy the core, and then there's like a little cutscene of everyone reminiscing about what a good guy Dash Rendar was, but he sacrificed himself for the good of the
What a guy.
Republic.
What a guy.
It was a great game.
It was actually a lot of fun. It's one of the few Star Wars games I really liked. Besides like Dark Forces.
I don't know that one.
You never played Dark Forces?
No.
It was like it was a Star Wars first-person shooter game on PC.
No, it's PC, that's why. It's
Obviously.
not Myst
Of course, yeah, I know. Or Diablo 1
or Diablo 1.
or whatever the heck it was that you were
Yeah.
talking about.
Any thoughts on EA? I mean, anything else you think that we could be
Yeah,
seeing?
I think EA's one of their big focuses this year is going to be Need for Speed because it's been a while since we've seen one.
Yeah.
Rumor right now is that it's going to take place in Seattle. I
The
don't know
the
what
Need
that
for Speed game.
means it'll be raining all the time.
Yeah.
That'll be
Which
cool.
could be cool for
Yeah.
visuals, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. Obviously, Star Wars is going to be their big focus because they own a great license, a huge license. I mean, you mentioned sports. We got to talk about the Madden GOAT edition.
Oh, this is the one where you can play as goats?
Yeah, it's like GOAT Simulator, but Madden.
That would be a football game that I'd be like, you know what? Sign me up. Sign me up.
Greatest of all
Do
time.
I hear an official prediction? We're gonna see Madden GOAT edition.
Yes.
It is actually going to happen, but it will not have a goat on it. It'll have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a goat.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
This is a sports
It's
term. you're probably not familiar with.
G.O.A.T.
So, okay, but essentially this is what? Just like a limited edition or collector's
Yeah,
edition?
but
or
they're doing it
something?
because Brady, blah, 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 Brady. You know, I don't know.
Alright.
I don't,
It
I
has
don't
a
care
s-
about sports. I just thought it was really
I think I
funny
saw
when I
him in a
saw
Matches
Madden.
commercial.
It was like Madden 18 GOAT
This,
edition.
in this edition, there's a side quest where you have to go retrieve your jersey from Mexico.
Yes, that is true.
You don't even know what
I don't
this
get
is.
this
Because somebody
Oh my
stole
This
God.
is meaningless.
Somebody stole
it from the
his
Super Bowl.
jersey after the Super Bowl. They went into some press guy from Mexico came, went into the locker room, pulled out his jersey, and just walked away. And he had it missing for
Well,
weeks. And it turned out that this guy's been stealing jerseys from famous players for years.
then,
That's awesome.
like, let's get some kind of security team. Like, this seems like a red flag here. Come
Well,
on.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that's what the reference was. I'm glad
Okay.
that somebody.
I also
this is way
think
over my head.
I also think too that that there might be a third Star Wars game, and it's going to be a Yoda the Sonic the Hedgehog collaboration, where like you play as Yoda, but you like it's a Sonic game.
Hedgehog the Sonic you are.
Hedgehog the Sonic. Yeah, that's actually what it might be called. Just Hedgehog. They're going to collaborate with Sega.
I would have. I would have to buy that
scene,
just to see what a cluster it is.
Do you remember the scene in Attack of the Clones where he's fighting Count Dooku and
He's just flipping around like
yeah,
crazy.
and
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh, look, it's Yoda the Hedgehog!" Like, you know, that was like a thing. So I don't know. I think at some point we got to get a game, Yoda the Hedgehog
It was an
game.
awesome scene. By
Yeah,
the way.
it was good. But you know, so there's that. They might bring back the Oddworld series,
Okay.
which I would love to see
I didn't
another one of
realize that
those.
EA had the license to Oddworld.
Well, they did. I don't know if they still do. But
I liked when there was a lot of platformers out in the market,
Mm-hmm.
and Oddworld I think would be a good candidate to come back.
I would love to see that game.
Now, is this based
back.
on anything? I mean, is there something you've seen or heard that makes you think that, or is it just a whole?
I just literally just had a hankering
Just
for
hoping
some
for it.
Oddworld.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I can't imagine that would actually be a thing. But if you want to, like, we gotta all have one absurd prediction, right? Like that's.
Oh,
what
wait
I
till you hear
want.
mine. I got a doozy on the way. Don't worry.
Perfect.
All right, so let's move on to
Oh,
Microsoft.
I wanted to mention one more thing.
Yeah.
There will not be a Battlefield this year.
No,
I don't believe that they're going to show off a Battlefield at all this year.
really.
Yeah, I really don't. And that was actually one of the ones that I was thinking about. I was like, you know, I know Call of Duty does one every year, and EA could technically do that too.
Battlefield
and they have
does
now
too,
for
though.
a while.
Yeah.
But Battlefield 1, I think, was so successful that if they're working on a sequel or some new type of Battlefield, that they're not going to release it this year. There's only like 2 DLC packs that are out of the 3 or 4. So I just don't feel like I don't think we're going to see Battlefield this year.
I think we're going to see Battlefield. I don't know
All
that
right.
it'll be out this year, but I think we'll see Battlefield. I would imagine, I mean, after the success of the first one, I think that they would follow the suit again. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like World War II.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I guess we've done World War II a bunch.
Yeah, but they
It's
need to
coming
go.
back.
They
World
need to
War
go
II's
back
coming
to
back.
it, though. They really do. Like World War One is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but there are limitations in terms of the technology that was available at that time. Though Battlefield did a great job of making you feel powerful, even though you were dealing with like first run tanks and like
Yeah.
biplanes. You know, stuff that really you wouldn't feel is kind of like you have like this power between
Sure.
behind your controller. But I don't know. I the problem I have is that, like with Battlefield 1, like yeah, most of the DLC be out by then, but it's like what I don't understand is like I get to a point where I'm like I really love this game and I want to keep playing it, and then I'm not even done with all the DLC yet, or or I'm not even finished with this game, and now you're telling me to go play a new one. It's like why?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't
Like at least Call of Duty's like here's something futuristic, here's something covert, here's
Right,
something
they
like
alternate.
in the 60s, here's something World War II, and I'm like, all right, I have various things I can jump between, whatever. I have different eras, but like Battlefield, I just kind of want to. You need a large player base for Battlefield. You don't for Call of Duty. Call of Duty can be 8 to 32. Battlefield needs 64 at least.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that it'll necessarily be on the same release schedule as it has been, but I would think that after the success of Battlefield 1, that they would try to ride that a bit. And if they still have another DLC pack coming, maybe this is something where they tease the next Battlefield. It's not
That
out
would be
this
fun.
year. Maybe
I'd
it's
be
down
cool
the
with that.
road. Maybe the beta gets slipped in with like
Sure.
DLC owners somewhere down the way, whatever. I would think that we would have to see something Battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get those little like snippets, right, where they're like, "Here's a game we're
just to
working
kind
on."
of
And
just
I'm
like
all right.
Like I don't think it's coming out fall.
And if I
you
hear
know.
like that, like that's all I care about. I will get through. By the way, The trailer for Battlefield 1 is in my top 3 trailers of all time.
Oh, it's good.
It is one of the best trailers
Battlefield
I've
always
ever
does
seen.
great trailers, though.
There's a difference between a great trailer and a trailer you want to keep watching because it affects you somehow. Like, Battlefield 1's trailer is probably the most powerful trailer I've ever seen, like depicting events that could have, realistically happened, right? That trailer with the music, with like the visuals on screen and the storytelling, oh my gosh, I think I've watched it a million times. Like, I just love it. It gets me every single time. There's something about it. And even if I didn't love the game, I still would have bought it based on that trailer alone. And I just think they did a great job. Comparatively to like Call of Duty's World War II one, it's really boring. It's like choir singing in the background or something. Whatever.
I don't remember that one. Anyways, we got to move on.
It's not worth it.
So that's EA, Microsoft, right? They have they're going early. They're going Sunday. We talked about before how we're sure that we're going to learn more about the Scorpio. So that's not really a prediction. But we know that we're going to see Scorpio something. We know that we're probably going to get some kind of Forza game. I would imagine that.
Thank you for saying it correctly.
Forza.
Forza.
Yeah. I can't imagine that a game that comes out pretty systematically, and we already saw that there was a still shot from the tech demo when Digital Foundry had the Scorpio in hands. Sure. We know that they've been working on something. It is about the right time frame. It's a Microsoft-owned studio. They need something for Scorpio when it comes out. Obviously, Forza is going to be on there, so that's hardly a prediction. I think we're going to see something Halo, but I don't think it's going to be Halo 6. There's been talk about, one of the, I forget the gentleman's name, but somebody from 343 was talking. They were asked if we were going to see a trailer or a teaser for Halo 6, because everybody knows that Halo 6 is coming, even though it hasn't been officially announced yet. And they said, no Halo 6. But we know that 343 has been working on stuff, and it feels like a good time to have something Halo. And I believe somebody caught wind of like a post somewhere, like a job opening or something, would lead you to believe that they're working on some kind of project. So I'm going to say, here's my prediction. We're going to see something Halo related. It's not going to be Halo 6. I think we're going to see announcement of that Halo television show that was on again, off again for a while. I think we're going to see something about that. And they're going to announce that television show is back on. Whether or not it still involves Steven Spielberg, I don't know. But I'm going to say that we're going to see Halo television show.
Do you think the reveal will say, like, finish the fight again?
Keep finishing the fight. Still. More. It just keeps trailing off. And everyone's like, they watch it like, all right, and then it goes another word like, again. Oh, okay. All right, yeah, more.
Dot. I don't know
exclamation
what to do anymore.
Points,
When it explodes.
Thoughts? What else do we think we're going to see from Microsoft?
What's been going on with Halo Wars? Is Halo Wars due for any kind of new content? Maybe a DLC injection?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I have not been keeping up with Halo Wars at all.
Maybe they'll give it away for free because no one bought it.
I think it did. I think it's been doing fine.
Halo Wars has its audience.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What about maybe we'll see if you're right and we see something Halo that's not Halo 6 and not the TV show, because I believe that's just going to be that's in the mist. That's gone. I mean,
do you remember the year Sony did the Supers and they made it a huge deal?
Yes.
And no one cared?
Did they ever release that? Did
Yes.
that actually come out?
Now, I know the Supers isn't like a game franchise people love. I'm just saying, but like when you said the Halo thing,
you're talking about the show Powers?
Powers, thank you.
Yeah.
So like I remember like they made a huge deal out of that. They're like legendary creator, blah blah blah. And I was just sitting there like, tell me more games. And like I don't care about this. Right. So like the Halo thing, yeah, that might be cool, but how big of it's gonna be? Is it gonna be huge? Like, is it gonna be the Halo reveal? I can't imagine.
I don't know. I mean, I think that there's a sizable audience of Halo fans that have been waiting for a Halo movie, right? For a long time.
I did it again.
He gets shy sometimes. So.
But there's been people waiting for the Halo movie, right? And Peter Jackson was signed on. They were going to do this Halo movie. Everybody's really excited.
Was how many years
It was
ago?
a long time ago. But then it kind of fell off the map, and people were saying, oh, maybe one day, whatever.
Theatrical masterpiece. That was...
Forward Unto Dawn?
Forward Unto Dawn. What a movie.
No. What was even worse was that other one that with the Halo 5 release. What was that?
Not Nightfall.
Nightfall, yes.
Was it Nightfall?
Halo Nightfall, which was
didn't watch
worse.
that one.
That has like 5 minutes of really interesting footage in the first episode, and after that, they're just walking around Mars forever, and you're like, dude, do something. Something's gonna happen. Nothing happens.
Of course.
Nothing happens. So I think there is a group of people that have been waiting for this thing, and at one point, Steven Spielberg was supposed to be involved. And if Steven Spielberg is going to be involved in a Halo show, it's got to be decent,
Steven
at least.
Spielberg is
I don't
currently
know.
making Boom Blocks 3.
And that's the thing. It's like, you could put Steven Spielberg's name next to a ton of stuff. Does that mean it's going to be gold? I don't think so.
It doesn't matter anymore, no, because he's made enough films that like recently that no one cares about. Like, he's not the Steven Spielberg of
Well, that's the
Schindler's
thing.
List,
Do you think
Jurassic
Steven
Park.
Spielberg, okay, and I remember he was attached to this project, but do you think he's going to be like in the studio, like checking it all out, making sure? No, what they're going to do.
If he's directing or producing, it's one thing. If it's a Steven Spielberg presents, those are the ones that are like, it's just a tack on. It's a rider.
Even a producer's credit, like they're probably just gonna like show him a picture of the Master Chief and be like, "Hey, yes," and he'll be like, "All right, well, okay, put his name on there." Like that's all it's gonna be. But anyway, I think that TV show is gonna be in limbo for a while. They're never gonna say it's canceled. It's already in limbo for how long now? Yeah. They're never gonna say it's like, "Oh, it's canceled." No, they're just gonna be like, "Oh, it's coming." Hold on.
What about a Halo MMO? Like Destiny. Destiny.
There were rumors of this.
At one point.
Yeah, you weren't here for the podcast that Topher and I were talking about it.
Good.
So there were rumors that Halo 5 at one point was an open world, potentially MMO kind of thing, and then it got scrapped halfway through because it was too different and people were freaking out a bit. So I guess that's always a possibility. I would think that before it goes to a Halo MMO, 343 maybe Microsoft commissions 343 to do a whole nother franchise, like something else in between Halo games. Maybe it splits into two teams or whatever. And
I would like to see. I would like to see 343 have some freedom to do something that's not Halo. I think they do a good job with Halo. I think they did a great job with Halo 5's multiplayer. But let's see what they can do otherwise. Give them some wiggle room. That'd be cool.
So the other big thing about the Microsoft presentation is that I imagine we're going to get a price on Scorpio, right?
Can't wait.
And if you remember, we have a deal where if it's $4.99 or below, you got to eat crow, and if it's $700 or whatever you thought it was going to be, I have to do an anime cry.
Technically, it just has to be above your price. Your price.
No, you said it was going to be $700 or $800.
Did you just say he has to actually eat a crow?
Yes.
Like you get a graphic put over your face, and he has to eat a dead animal.
You never heard that expression, "eat crow"?
No, man.
Okay.
I'm from the South.
He's got to eat the crow. Remember?
Oh my God!
Brandon
Who cares?
Lee.
This is not important. What's important is I don't remember if I said it was going to be 700 or 800, maybe, but it doesn't matter because we've got the footage. We can go back and look.
Dude, I hope this thing comes out for $7.99, and I can come back to this moment in footage and go, "Hey, Jason, watch this," and you'll be like, I think it's going to be less than $4.99, and if it was more than that, who would buy it? And I'll just be like, ah.
I do remember this deal, and I'm very hoping that we see a Scorpio price because I want to see your crying face, and I will.
And I'm going to go and I'm going to say my prediction, even though for our bet it's $4.99 or below.
Sure, okay.
I'm going to say that it's going to be out $3.99. I thought $4.49.
And I'm going to take the Price is Right route and say it's $1, Bob.
Okay. That seems like that probably wouldn't work in your favor this time.
Oh,
but
man, I hope we see a price on this.
I actually thought
I really did.
I actually thought $4.49, but there's no sense of pricing it at $4.49 because you can't claim it to be like there's no benefit to you between $4.49 and $4.99. So it's either going to be $3.99 or $4.99. I don't think there's anything in the middle. As much as I think $4.49 would be a perfect sweet spot, I can't imagine that they do that. But I think a lot of this is going to have to do with the PlayStation 4 Pro because the price cuts are rumored to be coming to that soon. And I think if Microsoft wants to be competitive, they're going to have to underprice the console in order to make it desirable to anybody.
Yeah,
we'll see. Can't wait to find out.
See.
I don't want to leave Microsoft just yet because I feel like just saying Forza and Scorpio isn't enough to get anyone to care.
They're going to have games.
And
I mean, they have to announce games,
Halo
but I don't know.
It's going to be like a Scorpio Slumber Party. Like it's all gonna be Scorpio. They're gonna be talking about it.
We're gonna
Oh no, they will.
We're gonna
but,
see
like,
Sea of Thieves.
Game. Okay, yeah, Sea of Thieves is.
We're
Gonna
gonna
be
see
one.
Cuphead.
Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3. They're gonna probably
That
flaunt
might be
Crackdown
huge.
3 like crazy.
Yeah, because that could be huge.
And that's really gonna. I think that's gonna be a good title to kind of flaunt on
Right.
on the Scorpio. I mean, I think we're gonna see a lot of things playing on Scorpio, and they're gonna really show what it could look like. I think Shadow of Mordor or
That will probably be a
is
focal
Shadow
point.
War?
That is an EA game.
What's this
now.
one
Shadow
called?
War.
Shadow
of War.
It's
Yeah.
not a great name, but
Yeah. Shadow
great.
War, I think, is going to be showcased. We know that's coming out soon.
Yeah, but that's
and
an
it's,
EA title though.
But they may be on stage.
I know, but I'm
they
just
may
saying,
be on stage with
like
Microsoft.
I kind of want to focus on like what Microsoft does, or like
Yeah,
any
yeah.
of the Microsoft partners. So like, are you thinking Grab Out the Ghoulies 2 maybe, or Cameo Elements of Power 2 from Rare? Like after they show off Sea of Thieves and
From what I've seen, I mean, Rare seems to work on one project at a time for a long period of time.
Connect Sports 2.
Here's something interesting. You ready for this?
Okay.
I just heard today that Microsoft has renewed the Scalebound trademark.
So maybe
Not-
Scalebound comes back.
I mean, that doesn't mean that anybody's working on it currently, but there's potential that something can happen
The
with that
interest
title.
level over here is.
cares? Oh my god! It's like this game. Like no one cared until it was canceled. Now everyone's crying around. Oh, give me Scalebound.
You know why they're?
I don't care at all.
You know why
I
they're?
hope Scalebound literally never shows up again.
They're only crying
Just out of
because
spite.
the only thing they're crying about is the fact that Microsoft doesn't have any games. That was the one
That's-
brand new thing that they were doing.
Well-
and then they were like, we're not making anything new anymore. We'll just keep making the same thing. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
And
Give me something new.
Maybe that's what they'll do is show
Not
like.
to mention,
hey, we've got
weren't you
some
hung up
exclusives.
on Last Guardian for a while? I mean, like, how many times did you
what
wait
a
for
bad
that
game.
game?
I didn't even play Last Guardian.
No, but like you were interested in it for how long?
10 years for
What
me.
point are you making? I mean, this is the Last Guardian. That's a Team Eco game, right?
Yeah.
So I love Shadow of the Colossus. I haven't played Eco, but I love Shadow of the Colossus. Because I love Shadow of the Colossus, I have high regard for Team Eco. So when Team Eco has a game, The Last Guardian, that was going to be coming out, I was like, yeah, I'm interested in that because they made a really good game. Came out, didn't get amazing reviews, and I passed it up. I might get it when it's
Your
cheap.
life is still okay. Like
The point I'm making is
probably a
that
better
you're saying
person
like all
for
these
it.
people are whining about Scalebound, but people whined about Last Guardian for how many years, whatever. Too like this is something that was starting to build interest. It seemed interesting, and it kind of got pulled away. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like a lot of people,
I think-
a lot of people didn't really care until they knew it wasn't coming anymore.
Yes,
Then they became more
exactly.
interested. But there's a sizable amount of people, myself included, that were very interested in the game prior to it being canceled because it looked different, and all of a sudden they got
Microsoft self made a point of showing it off. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just like every company does. They're like, here's the games coming to Xbox, and here's games coming to Sony. And you're like, all right, cool. That one looks kind of neat and whatever. But this was like a part of like their conference. You know what I mean? They're like, and like, hey, Scalebound. It's like, all right, whoa. They're like making a big deal out of this. So I don't know. I think that right there, they were saying that they were kind of putting all their eggs in the basket with this game, and something happened, and whatever.
Yeah.
But then
I think it's
a
possible that we could
change.org petition may have brought it back to life,
maybe those work. Those do things.
depending on what you do.
Everybody reacts to those.
And if you spell correctly. You gotta see the Far Cry 5 one. It's real bad.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I think that takes us then to Bethesda. Any thoughts about what we might see from Bethesda this year?
I like how Bethesda has its own conference now. Like, Bethesda's a big enough name that they can just, like, have their own thing.
Yeah.
And at first I kind of thought was like, oh, what are you gonna do? Talk about Elder Scrolls for, like, an hour? And then they're like, we have Doom and Wolfenstein and, I don't know, Dishonored and, like, I don't know, a few other games, whatever. It's like,
Fallout.
Fallout, yeah. I was just like, all right, holy crap, like, you guys actually have a pretty great library, right?
Yeah.
So, considering they take a lot of, like, ID Software titles and kind of reimagine them and somehow make them fun again, I would, like, I don't know. Let me say, like, all right, before I get into my ridiculous ones that probably will never happen, I really feel like we're going to see some teaser for another Elder Scrolls thing because nobody cares about the online game. But, like, probably, like, another Wolfenstein sequel or something.
Okay.
Because it's been a while. I think Fallout, you're not going to see anything this year. I don't know. What else do they do?
We might see Fallout, I think,
Some
because
new IP. I think I was thinking new IP.
I think we might see Fallout VR because I think there was rumors that they were doing a VR thing for Fallout.
Sounds about as lame as Fallout 4.
You didn't like Fallout 4?
I hated.
A lot of people liked
4.
it. I do think that we'll see something on Wolfenstein because I think it was one of the voice actors accidentally, like, he was in an AMA on some forum.
AOL chat room.
Not AOL. AMA, like an Ask Me Anything?
Oh, I think you meant like an AOL chat room.
No, he was in like
Maybe it was.
it could have been. I mean, he was like on Reddit or a forum or something like that, and he was doing an AMA, and somebody mentioned something, asked him something, and he made reference to something called Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, and everyone's like,
Oh, that sounds sweet.
"What is this?"
You never played that game, did you?
No, I haven't played Wolfenstein.
Man, is it good? Holy crap!
But
I
he
loved it.
basically confirmed that there's another title coming, so we might see that there.
All right.
What do you think we're seeing from Bethesda? Anything?
What I want to see from Bethesda is something for the Doom sequel, because I don't know if either of you guys played Doom 2016.
I did.
It was good.
Yeah.
I played some of
real
it.
good.
It was really good.
How many hours did you put into it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think 35 I put into that game. When's the last time you put 35 hours into a shooter? Like, never.
Halo.
No. I'm
just
talking
kidding.
single player.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, can you even remember? Like, most of them are like 10 hours long max. You know?
Yeah, shooters aren't typically very long.
I know my playtime was padded a lot by like looking around for those little vinyl
This
figures.
is why, yeah, I say 35 because I got everything in the game. I loved it so much I had to have it all.
I don't think I got everything, but I did a good amount of it. But I thought it was great. And
So you're hoping for Doom 2?
I
Give me
really
Doom.
would like to see something about. But I mean, it just came out last year, so like, is that asking too soon?
Might
maybe
be too soon.
But maybe a teaser. Teaser, I'd be happy about. That's all I
Yeah,
needed really in
right.
that department. Otherwise, I do think we're about to start talking about Elder Scrolls 6,
Probably.
and that's also something that could get me excited because Skyrim was great, but it's like let's move on here. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys saw, but Bethesda had put out this picture, and it was like a cartoon drawing of Bethesda Land, like
Yeah.
a carnival or whatever, or like a amusement park made of Bethesda properties.
It was
Did
like
you see
one of
this?
the
Mario
maps you get.
Bethesda's Mario Party?
No, it wasn't a game, but that would have been interesting. You're playing board games as the guy from Doom and everything else. But in there they had like all the sections. It was like a map of a amusement park, and the different parts of the map were different Bethesda titles and properties, right? And there were two, like it mentioned all of them. Like it had like Elder Scrolls and Doom and Quake and all this stuff. And then there was two segments that said that they were under construction.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So my prediction, and this isn't too specific, but my prediction is we're going to see at least one new IP
Yeah,
from Bethesda.
I really think this is the year for Bethesda to show off something new. And I'm hoping it's going to be either Hexen or Heretic, which I doubt will happen because nobody remembers those games. But they were fun. Like, it's like all they do was take Doom and the Quake engine and just put a new name on it and like come up with different weapons. It was fun though. It was great.
Yeah.
I just I'm so happy that ID Software decided to partner with Bethesda or whatever, or get bought out or something like that, because like Doom 3 I hated, and I remember when Doom 2016 came out, I was like, this game is gonna suck. No one's gonna buy this game. This game's gonna be terrible.
It's
It turned
done
out to
really
be
well.
One of the game of the years for last year,
Yeah.
and I loved every second of that game. I paid $30 for it. I wish I would have paid $60. How often can you say that?
I don't think
Like
I've ever
I
seen that.
love, yeah, exactly. I love that game. And I
That sounds like
loved
somebody who would be
Wolfenstein.
poor all the time.
Like Wolfenstein was phenomenal.
Would you like to buy
It was
this
as
car,
good as
sir?
Doom.
How much is it? 10,000. I will give you 20,000.
Well,
Really, it's
let me
only
go-
a 10
let me
grand
go
for
talk
this.
to my manager. I'm not quite sure if we can do that.
Like, you're never gonna believe it, sir. We've decided to give you the car for 20,000. I want to give you 30,000. We can do this all day. Let me go talk to the regional.
Bethesda, I really get excited for every year
Yeah.
now. I'm not a giant Elder Scrolls fan. Like, it's not like my go-to game that I talk about all the time. But I liked Skyrim. Don't care about the online one. That's literally it.
With Bethesda that they're going to put the time into the game. I mean, they're
It'll be broken as hell. It's an open world.
yeah. I mean, they've had some of their flaws, but like you feel like you're not just buying a title. You feel like you're going to at least eventually get your money's worth, right? I mean,
Absolutely, they're huge games usually.
yeah. So, but I
give
think
you a lot.
I think a new IP is coming.
Yep.
I'm going to think I think it's a new Elder Scrolls and a new IP in general. I think those are the two big things they're going to
Like, if I had a
showcase.
choice between Bethesda's conference or Ubisoft's conference, I would watch Bethesda.
Oh yeah.
easily
Yeah.
because they're just a wonderful company that
Sure.
kind of makes broken games, but like you can just overlook
You know what
it.
though? There's some charm to Bethesda's bugs.
Yeah,
You know?
there is, absolutely.
Like think about when Skyrim came out and like the dragons would just like flop around after they died, and it's hilarious. But like, but the game is like solid enough. It's still
Yes.
a great game. Yeah, you come across some stuff, but it's not like Ubisoft bugs where faces they're not
Just
there
gone.
and there's just like floating eyeballs at you, and you know. Half the game is non-functional. So, Bethesda bugs, I'll let it slide.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of Ubisoft, they also have their own showcase at
Yes,
E3.
yes.
Boo.
So if you want to hear about Assassin's Creed,
I do think we're going to see Assassin's
that's
Creed.
what you're gonna
Oh, it's
hear about.
guaranteed.
David and I talked about this one episode. I think it was last year or the year before. Whenever after the release of the last Assassin's Creed, which was now a couple years ago, it didn't get. Was it Unity? Was that the last one? Syndicate. Unity didn't do too well, and Syndicate didn't do too well. And Ubisoft said, "Hey, we're going to take a break from pumping these out every year. We're going to wait. We're going to retool it, and we want to make sure that it's a quality title because people did enjoy Assassin's Creed for a long time. Black
still
Flag was good.
Yeah.
There was
Two
That's it.
was
That's
very
actually
well
it.
received.
two
actually.
was
Yeah,
good.
two was great.
So 2 and 4 were
Loved
both
two.
really good. I think people liked 1 too, didn't they? 1, 2, and 4.
yeah,
I think were the
one
solid.
was
Good
fine.
enough, yeah.
Yeah. One did well enough.
But after that, they started to taper off. So, they're going to show us an Assassin's Creed. There's been a few. There was a leaked image that happened somewhere. I think it was a retailer overseas posted some kind of photo of it. And we got to see a little bit. So, I believe that it's going to have naval combat because I saw boats in the image that I saw, which people liked from Black Flag a lot. They liked the naval combat. So, I do believe we're going to see that. And I believe that it's supposed to be. I think it's going to be like Egypt. Like ancient Egypt.
I believe that is correct.
They were
yes.
toying with the idea, from what I understand, they were toying with the idea of either going back to ancient Egypt or ancient Greece. And, maybe I'm partial because I'm Greek, but I would actually be very interested to see an Assassin's Creed in Greece because I think that would be...
No, that's true.
I-
I think that could be a really cool setting.
We don't
and-
get a lot of games in
happen,
there.
actually.
That's one of the reasons why I thought Rise was so, compelling because we don't get that era a lot. And granted, that's Rome.
You had like
but-
4 God of War games that were all set in ancient Greece.
Oh, but he didn't play them because they're on PlayStation.
Oh, that's right.
What is this? What are we doing?
You're so anti-PlayStation. You don't play.
I'm not anti-PlayStation. I'm actually. We'll get to it in a minute, but there's some PlayStation stuff that I'm gonna come steal your PlayStation for.
You have Far Cry 5 is going to be a big title.
Far Cry 5
got already announced, which is funny. Like you could have waited 2 more weeks.
I don't think that was intentional though. I think that was leaked too. I think that the cat was out of the bag, and they're like, "All
Can I
right,
tell you
well,
why
it's
it was
coming."
intentional? Because retailers already had the information on it, and they were like already had their flyers ready to go.
Oh,
So it was definitely intentional. Like there's already cover art, there's like backdrops in stores and
Well-
things like that. But so that game was definitely an intentional like announcement, right? But did you watch the trailer by chance?
no, I haven't seen it yet.
So I try to be impartial, especially on things that I'm
Is this
really
the
don't
Wild
care
West
for.
one or
No. But
not Wild West? What was this one? This one was
it's in Montana. It's in the backwoods of Montana.
okay.
It's like country living.
Yeah, it's
good
kinda
old,
like
good old
Resident
like
Evil
Bible
7.
Belt kind
Resident
of a thing.
Evil 7, but Far
Yeah.
Cry version.
Well, what I found interesting was that I don't care about Far Cry. I never have. I played the original and I was like, this is really cool. You can hide in bushes, and that was a new thing back then. And then like there's a mile-long map. I'm like, it's awesome. It's gorgeous, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think every single Far Cry after that I just haven't cared about. I know they're great. Don't get me wrong. I know 2 is really well like a well-done game. 3 was pretty good. 4 was pretty good. But like I just stopped caring. Just don't care about these games. 5 caught my attention immediately. So apparently, storyline wise, like there's like some crazed preacher that has a militia and is like recruiting people to cause a bunch of hoopla. Or
So it's
something. I don't know,
basically the
whatever.
video game version of that Kevin Smith movie,
Red State.
Red State.
Oh yeah, like Red State. Yeah. Very similar to that, I guess.
Yeah, interesting.
But people are freaking out about this game because they're attaching it to politics, and there's actually a petition out there to get the game removed, and it's hilarious. I read it today.
I'm sure they saw this coming.
Yeah.
Because it's got what? It's got some religious.
It has religious overtones, and it's pretty much saying like,
So
if you're part of
this
the
is on
upper
purpose.
Midwest, like
There's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean they saw this coming.
Yeah.
No company would not see this coming.
Well,
So you're probably
Ubisoft,
right.
Be aware, there's at least 1,400 people that will not be buying your game.
Ooh.
So you're right. I think Far Cry 5 will be there.
Yeah, definitely. It's being huge. I don't think we'll see any Rayman. I'm pretty sure nobody cares.
Oh no,
That's not true. Rayman Legends was really, really well received.
Oh my god! I debated whether I brought this up during the Ubisoft part or
It's a
the
good game,
Nintendo
don't get me
part.
wrong. It's just like, I don't know.
So you know the Rabbids from Rayman, right?
Yeah,
Have you heard about this?
I know about
Do
this.
you know what I'm about to tell you?
Maybe, but
Okay, so Rayman Raving Rabbids was a game back on the Wii,
yeah.
and it was the first time, at least I think I saw the Rabbids. Was that the first
that
Rabbids?
was like a
Oh my gosh, this title was so much fun because it was just very absurd and it was funny, and these rabbits were like they're
like minions, but with
right.
ears.
They're like minions, and they're rabbids, Rabbids, like, not even rabbits, but they're like crazy, and their eyes go both ways, and you just do a bunch of, like, there's mini game elements to it or whatever. They've done several since then, and I haven't played all of them, but I've played them here or there, and they're very comical. There was a leaked image of a Mario Rabbids crossover, which, take my money.
Really?
Yes.
That's for you. That's a take my money.
That's a take my money.
Man, it doesn't take much.
You know,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
I can appreciate the absurdity, and I don't know what it is, and I think we're gonna see it. I think we'll see something that tells us what this game is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just like a Mario game, like a Mario Party type of thing, but the image has got, like, Mario and Peach on it, and then like a rabid version of Luigi and a rabid version of Peach.
Hey, it could be fun. I mean, they're good at making games.
I
that
need
are
something
fun.
else for my Switch because God knows there's only one
you
title
have
that's
Mario
worth
Kart
owning.
yet?
Right there. I do not.
Then stop talking and just get off the show. Oh, I don't know Mario Kart. Who doesn't know Mario Kart?
I would like a new title. Like, I don't just
When's the
that's
last time you
fine.
played Mario Kart?
I'm saying, but that's a re-release of a Wii U title. Yeah.
You can go upside down in that game. You're anti-grav. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really
Turn
cool.
the Switch around and
wouldn't
then you
know.
rinse it up.
You wouldn't know because you never played
I'll
it.
probably pick that up eventually,
should.
but I don't know. I thought this was interesting. Raymond.
No, it is really cool. I mean, if it looks fun, then great. If not, then whatever.
I'm
pass
just
it over.
surprised. Like, Nintendo is so particular with its properties that I was surprised that it would cross over with such an absurd game like Rabbids.
Yeah, well,
Because in like that, in the one I played, like, you slap the rabbits around like in part of the games,
Yeah.
or like you do like really weird things to them. And I can't imagine that Nintendo would be okay with you slapping Mario around.
they let you pull his face in Mario 64 and make
That's true.
ridiculous things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that could be pretty neat, though, I think. What else does Ubisoft even do?
They're in everything.
Oh, The Crew 2 is coming out. Whatever.
I think Ubisoft is involved in Watch Dogs, aren't they? I don't know if there's...
Oh, yeah, they do. They
just had Watch Dogs
they
2,
do
though.
The Division. They did Tom Clancy's Ghost
They
Recon.
do all kinds of stuff. They're in everything.
Maybe a Rainbow Six sequel? Because Rainbow Six came out 2 years ago, and it's getting a season 2. Which basically is like a second round of DLC. But I don't know if they're going to do it. Maybe they'll show off the new Rainbow Six, maybe.
I feel like
It's
those
about due
games take a
time.
long time in between
They
titles.
might, but I mean, it's not like... I was so happy. I think we even talked about at one point that they weren't releasing a sequel to Rainbow Six. They were like releasing a
Wait.
second round of DLC.
What was the last Rainbow Six?
Rainbow Six Siege. 2 years ago.
What game am I thinking of? Wildlands.
That's Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So, Division, Ghost Recon, and Rainbow Six are all Tom Clancy franchises that Ubisoft owns and makes. And I really, really
Oh.
loved Rainbow Six. Like,
Is-
amazing game.
Is Ubisoft Splinter Cell?
Yeah.
I think we're going to see another Splinter Cell.
That would be cool.
Because I think that the actor, the guy who plays, was it Sam Fisher?
Yeah.
I believe that, I want to say something went up on his, either his like IMDb profile, or he got like a credit somewhere for some kind of voice thing, and it started spreading.
There was like a Twitter that he wrote, and it said something like, I finally got a job again after 6 years.
something, yeah. So I think that he's voicing Sam Fisher again. So we're probably going to see a Splinter Cell.
Cool. That
That might
be
show up
sweet.
on Ubisoft stage then.
There, like for the franchises that Ubisoft does make that I can't stand, there are a handful of things that I'm always kind of excited about.
I mean, they have a ton of things under their umbrella.
They
I
do.
mean, there's got to be something that everybody likes.
Yeah, and they have a new logo now too. They just took
Yeah.
all the color out of it.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
it's
yet.
just white. It's like in a little swirl thing.
It's like what Taco Bell did with theirs. It's like, hey, here's a logo. Now we're just going to make it monochrome.
It's all like monochrome and super.
That's the
modern and
future. The
stuff,
future
yeah.
is monochrome. We might as well get all of our silver jumpsuits together now. All get the same kind of haircut and just...
Like, I feel like I could take the Ubisoft logo now and like put it above my couch, and somebody be like, "Wow, that's a really nice piece of art you got there." Be like, "Yeah, it's a Ubisoft logo." You'd be like, who?
No, you gotta say it all fancy, like,
doesn't
oh yeah,
matter.
that's
You want
a
some cheese?
original Ubisoft.
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 You gotta see what their original logo from the 80s looks like. It's like giant Miami Vice block letters, like pink.
Nice.
And then it says like soft and like handwritten underneath it. It's absurd looking.
I approve.
It's great.
All right, guys. Sony.
God, I hope we have 3 hours. I just want to talk about this.
Games, and then when it's done, more games, and then when you finally think it's over, games, and then a cigarette afterward.
Apparently, they have the largest floor space at E3 this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they got tons of things coming out. Can I just say, the more and more I see of that Detroit More Human game, which I think it was originally called something else, right? It was originally Detroit and then a year, right? Now it's just Detroit More Human. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what
I think they changed the name of it. I think it's now called Detroit More Human. That game looks so interesting to me.
Really? See, Heavy Rain looked really interesting, and then I played it, and it was the worst. But I know I'm not part of the whole demographic that thinks that way. There's a lot of people that really like that game because obviously it sold well enough to them, so they could make whatever their second game was.
Indigo Prophecy?
What is it?
Indigo
no,
Prophecy,
that
but
was
that
their
came first,
that
didn't
was their original game, yeah, which is an amazing title. It's like up there with what's that really rare, sweet horror GameCube game? Eternal Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of up there with that. It was really good. They
Like
made
a
some other
cult
game
thing?
though. I don't remember what it was.
Beyond Two Souls?
Yeah, that's what it was. Beyond Two Souls. Didn't care about that either. And now they're making a third game I don't care about. But it's a cool company that like it's kind of like the Team Ico, like in a sense. Like they've only made like 3 or 4 games. And whenever they make something, it's always kind of like a big splash. So could be a big deal.
What are you hoping to see?
What am I hoping to see? I'm who knows? I'm interested to see whatever they got.
Okay. What do you think that they will see? I mean, anything that you believe that we're actually going to see? I mean, rather than just whatever they've got, or I mean, God of War is obviously obviously going to be a big showcase, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's like the big title coming out in the
Yes.
near future. Do we have like a release date for that yet?
No. I think Chris wants Rapper the Rabbit.
What?
Rapper the Rabbit. It's like Parappa the Rappa, but it's like
Oh.
Rapper the Rabbit or something.
Well, we already talked about how much Parappa the Rapper is so great and relevant.
It's not. Did you play the demo again of it or anything
No,
by chance?
I mean,
it's real bad. I know you're joking, but like I played it again, and the timing is still just as bad as I remember. It's like I'm about to hit the X,
true to
like
form,
it's
man.
going over the X, and I hit it. Literally, I found out you have to hit it here if the thing is like here, and I'm like, this game still sucks. Why does anybody play this game? The other thing great about it is the lyrics for the songs.
Kick, punch. It's all in the mind. Yeah.
If you want to, yeah, all right, whatever. But Crash Bandicoot's coming out. If you care.
I don't.
I don't either.
You know, but that's a thing. I don't know how much they could really show it this year because
It'll be out before. No, it comes out June 30th, so it'll probably be a small showcase, but probably not huge.
Even
I mean,
like
they might-
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, like that's coming up.
Yep.
That'll be cool. But is that something they're really going to push during this E3? I mean,
Naughty
I can't
Dog is
imagine.
going to definitely showcase Last of Us 2 big time.
Oh, for sure. That'll be out there.
Yeah, we all need that in our lives because that game was great.
it's one of the best.
Yeah, it was very good.
So there was something there's a game like I'm trying to think of new things that we might not know of because a lot of Sony stuff I think we're going to see
Last Guardian
things that
2.
we've seen before. Yeah, they'll be done in 20 years. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff that we've already been aware of, but now we're just going to see footage of it or gameplay or get dates on it or
Gran
whatever.
Turismo is a huge one. That'll definitely be shown.
I'm sure we'll see that too.
Well, I know nobody cares, but at the same time, it's like Sony does need some competition in the racing genre, and I think that Gran Turismo will be a big spectacle. I don't care about it either. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the name that invented simulation racing. So
Forza's got such a
we
good...
got to talk about things we
we're
don't
gonna
like,
see?
guys. I mean,
we're going to see PlayStation All Stars 2. That's what we're going to see, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, okay."
you can play as all the cars from Gran Turismo in PlayStation All Stars.
If I could play as one car in a game that plays like that would be at least somewhat interesting.
Anyway, so I've been trying to think of something that we may not already be aware of that might be coming out. And the only thing I could find was something that was referenced by a Brazilian ratings board. So like, there's a game coming out called That's You.
Wait.
Have you guys heard of this?
I know. What?
Have you heard of
What's it called?
That's You?
That's you.
Yeah. There's some title that's being worked on. Called. I mean, it's very Nintendo-esque, but there's not a whole lot about it. But
I hope it's a game that uses the PlayStation camera, which we haven't seen a lot of. We haven't seen a lot of use from PlayStation
If you're on
camera.
VR, you have to use it.
When you boot that baby up, shows you on the screen. It's like, that's you.
And game
And
over.
then you're good, and that's it. You get a trophy.
It's a mirror
you're done.
game. Like, it's just a mirror.
That's you.
I think
I
that
don't see
this.
what else it could be. That
No, I
sounds
think it's like a trivia game of some sort.
Ooh.
And I think
can't wait.
if I remember correctly, I think I heard that it's some kind of trivia game, and you can play with your friends while they play on their cell phones, so you can like have people that
So
are not
it's
in the room
Jackbox.
play whatever. Kind of, yeah.
But Jackbox is so good.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
let's not.
I'm just saying it's something that maybe we are not aware of yet, because a lot of the stuff, like I said, we already know about Detroit, and I'm sure we'll see more of that. We know about God of War.
Yeah.
We know about Gran Turismo. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we've seen teasers for before, and I'm sure that Sony's got other projects down the road, but they have so many things right now that their conference can't go on forever.
Oh man, it might. But you got to remember, like, so there's like at least 4 or 5 major titles. Sony at this point has to double down on VR. Like, VR has to be a giant chunk of their show. Now, personally, I'm going to have zero interest in that portion of it, unless they show me off something that's really sweet. But I can't imagine there's.
I finally
anything.
saw a commercial for Sony VR on television today for the Batman VR experience.
Yeah.
That was the first time I had seen it. It's been out for how long now?
Since November,
really.
6
And
months,
like
7 months.
finally they're
Batman
showing.
VR on
Yep.
TV.
That's
Jeez.
game's
just
like,
today.
Yeah, game's like 5 months old.
Yeah,
Well,
which is crazy.
They have to double down on VR because you've sold a bunch of these things to a bunch of people, and the problem with VR is that most people that go into a store and go buy it are going to go back to that store and go be like, all right, well, what games are VR based? And like, well, there's 12 in this little section right over here.
Yeah.
If Sony doesn't double down on VR, this thing is going to go away. So as much as I don't want to watch this portion of Sony's conference, I know it's going to have to be.
You have to, because you got to see where it's going to go. Like
Right,
what's
right.
happening with it.
Exactly.
So I agree. I think that Sony's got to do something with VR. Maybe we'll see.
Right. I just don't think gaming is like the first platform that these new technology avenues should go down, because if you require somebody to buy into expensive technology and then you don't release product for it, it's like, well, now what? Like, this thing fails and it goes away, and then like, oh, maybe some hospital adopts it later on to like perform fake surgeries with Surgeon Simulator 2016, whatever. And it's like, I don't know.
I do think
You're
that
asking too much of the consumer, and the consumer doesn't have necessarily the money to invest in this stuff.
I do think that VR is not going to make it this time around. We're going to get close, and it's not going to be close enough, and then in a few years it'll come back.
And it might on other platforms, like PC, it could do very well. You know what I mean? Like, if product keeps getting created for it, then I think that like once the price drops to something reasonable, it'd be fine. Like, would you buy VR if it was like $300?
Right now, no.
See, neither would I. But like, there are some things about VR that really make me excited, and it's so stupid. Like, there's a game out there called Job Simulator. I want to play that. Like, that's what interests me. I don't
Just
know
go to
why.
work.
I know it seems super monotonous and terrible, but like, that's a game I'd love to play. Like, I want to take.
I want
my
to play
coffee
sleep
cup.
in my bed.
I'll tell you why, because I want to take my coffee cup and I want to throw it into my monitor, like after like just because I can,
Alright, yeah.
Ultimately, though, I don't know. Like, I still want to play Resident Evil. I gotta admit, I do want to do that, but
Yeah, mess your pants.
yeah, exactly, because you will.
Seems
Like,
terrifying.
if you, this is the first time I ever experienced VR. I'm not sold on it. I also get sick on a swing set, just so you know. Like, I have real bad motion sickness.
So it doesn't take
Apparently,
much.
doesn't take very much. Yeah. So, but yeah, VR. We have to talk about it because it is going to be a giant focal point of Sony's conference. It might be of every conference. We'll have to see. We just don't know.
Maybe. I mean, everybody seems to think that VR is still in the future. It seems like it's becoming less and less realistic. I think that we're going to see some sort of big Horizon Zero Dawn DLC.
Oh, that could happen. Square Enix is also going to make an appearance at Sony's conference, guaranteed, because they released tons of exclusive stuff for them.
Yeah, and they're working on the Final Fantasy thing and everything else too. I mean,
I wonder if we'll see Final Fantasy VII, another like teaser or something, because
Yeah.
they did that last year,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean I think it's coming out anytime soon. But
No, exactly.
wouldn't mind seeing.
But I think that like if Sony's looking for certain like like the fireworks aspect of their conference, right? Like they show a game that they know everyone's waiting for, and that'll be huge. That's good. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I buy into that stuff. I'm cool with it.
What about Nintendo? What do we think Nintendo's going to do during E3 time days? I know they're not officially part of the conference, but they still have a showcase going on.
Well, you're familiar with how Nintendo does E3, right? It's a two-step process for them. Do you guys know?
1, insult your fans. 2, tell them to not worry and buy it anyway.
They'll release a Nintendo Direct, which will probably be like an hour and a half, hour long, whatever, showcasing all their new stuff. And then the rest of the time at E3, they will do these treehouse events, live treehouse events.
Yeah.
They have people playing the games they just announced, they talk about them, show them off, blah, blah, blah. And it's all like digital content. You can literally access at any point or tune in at any point, which I think is kind of neat. You know,
that's
whatever.
cool.
And they're archived and whatever. But, yeah.
What do you think's coming?
I think that Super Smash Switch Brothers is coming.
Now that's a remaster that I would totally purchase.
It's gonna, I think it's gonna happen. It's gonna have all the DLC characters from Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, because that was such a good title for that game. But they'll probably also add maybe a couple new characters. And if the rumor of the whole Mario Cross Rabbids thing is true, we might see Rayman as a fighter, which would be dope.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. A rabbit as a fighter would be cool too.
Sure. I mean,
want
personally,
Solid Snake again. Where'd that
Hiding in
go?
his box.
well, you never know. I mean, I would say at least it'll have 2 new characters. One of which will probably be Rayman, if the rumor is true. And then what could be the other one? Who knows?
I think we're gonna see a new Pokemon. I think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get
Switch Pokemon?
A Switch Pokemon.
All right.
And I think it's going to incorporate elements from the Pokemon Go mobile app.
Okay.
Because now you have this device that could be carried around. So I think, that was such a huge craze, and Nintendo had to lean on the support of a company that builds apps,
Okay.
Now they can just create all this stuff within their own, in-house, and they can take it with you on the go with the Switch.
If they show
I think
it
we're gonna
off,
see it.
it will probably not happen next year, though. Like, it won't be out until 2019, because that's what Nintendo does.
Right.
Especially if it's a big title, right? Like, they'll be like, here's this cool game, and you're like, I can't wait 6 months
Well, they
from
try
now,
to
maybe?
space out all their large titles
Yeah.
pretty good. So we know that we have Mario Odyssey coming later this year.
Yep.
So you're probably right. It probably wouldn't be sooner than first quarter next year.
Yeah.
But I still think we're going to get it. And
I don't think next year. Honestly, it'd probably be in 2019.
well, and people have been talking about the Pokemon Stars name for a while, which
Mm-hmm.
so that could end up being this. And maybe there's some kind of weird element of putting your Switch up in the sky to grab a Pokemon out of the out of the
That'd
nighttime
be kind of cool.
stars,
It'd be
whatever.
like Pokemon Go for Switch, so you can kind of take it around. But there's no camera on the Switch, though. I just thought of that. That's a bummer. Well, maybe if it does know like 3D space.
Yeah,
so,
it knows there's space
You might be
in
able to
it.
like move it around or something. Or
Yeah. Well,
maybe
you're not
they'll
gonna
have, like,
see through it, but-
geolocator to it or
Right.
something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
What else? Smash Brothers. I agree with you. I've been saying that since day one, because ever since I heard Mario Kart was coming out, Smash is the inevitable game that will be released either by the end of this year or early next year, with most likely some new characters, is my guess. Even though they said they weren't doing it, they'll probably release at least 2 more.
Probably.
I think just to stick it to me, they're going to come out with an SNES Mini Classic, and they're going to sell it in 5 stores.
Yeah.
It's going to have 3. There's going to be 3 boxes at each store, and you'll have, a full year to purchase one if you can line up 17 days in advance without food or water.
Yep.
And be one of the first people that maybe has an opportunity to buy it. And then afterward, they're going to go, I didn't know people were going to want it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just,
Well, an SNES Classic would be a good idea.
It would be cool.
I would love an SNES Classic.
You hate the NES Classic
I do.
so much.
I really hate the NES. It was the worst design I've ever seen on anything.
What? It looked just like the NES, but
No. Design is is broader than
Not the aesthetic
than the
design.
Smaller.
He didn't like
What do
that.
you
Have you seen the controllers for it?
Yeah.
They're 2 feet long, maybe. Like, it's from this thing to me.
The cord?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So do you remember when you were a child and you used to sit Indian style in front of your television and have to like stare up at it like this?
Yeah, that's what I do now.
No, you don't.
It probably
Don't
does.
lie to me just to be funny. You're not funny.
All right, so the cords are too short.
Okay.
But it's cute,
well,
man.
what if you're playing a game, right? And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go to my next game. How would you do that on a modern console? If you want to like switch to a different game,
The PlayStation button, but you didn't have one.
right. So you have to go up to the system and hit the reset button, like over there.
I think it's nostalgic. I like
Shut
it.
up! You're wrong.
I like
it's
it.
stupid.
They shouldn't they shouldn't add buttons to the controller. Make it
Yeah,
make it different. No, just
I'll give you that the
That's
cords
fine.
should
Have
be
it like
longer.
hit start and select together, and then it goes back to the main menu. Done. No adding buttons.
And that would also be a nice feature. But I can live with having hit the button on the thing. I do think the cord should be
You
longer
say
than they
that
are.
without owning one, though. You're wrong.
You know
I'm
why I don't
telling
own one?
you.
Because they didn't make them available to me.
I could have got you one.
I asked you several times.
You're not a good enough friend.
Yeah.
the truth comes out.
No, I think Nintendo's going to learn from its mistakes when it comes to the design of the SNES Mini, if it does happen.
I can't even comprehend the sentence Nintendo will learn from their mistakes. That doesn't even register in my brain.
I don't think they'll make enough of them still. I think they'll learn from design flaws, but they will not learn from the previous, hey, let's not make these, or let's make enough, or like make too many, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen again. It's gonna be awful. It's like it'll be super exciting for like a minute until like you realize the frustration is gonna set in, and you just want to burn them down.
People will riot in the streets.
It's possible. This could be the fall of our society. Like Nintendo is literally like the cause of the decline of society. There's like
World War III begins because the SNES Classic is not available in enough stores.
Do you guys think any other big Nintendo games will be like teased, announced? I mean, we will
Well,
all
we're gonna
probably.
see Mario's Haunted Odyssey.
Well, all right, things we don't know about, right? The only two games that are coming out right now are Splatoon and Mario. That's all we know.
I'm amazed to say this, but I heard somewhere along the way that there's the potential that we hear about Metroid.
Well, we always say that every year, right?
Supposedly
Because when's the
Retro's
last
working on
time
something.
that a legitimate, and I don't mean Metroid Federation Force.
No,
because that
I
was
mean
a
like
joke.
I mean like Metroid Prime 4 or whatever it is.
Yeah, that would be great because Metroid is always like the game that like everybody every single year is like, oh my god, this is the game we want. Like it's the one.
And
game
then they
we
don't
want.
buy it. Yeah.
Right, and then it'll never happen. But
Yeah.
Zelda probably mobile.
But yeah, Zelda Mobile might show
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
That should be a thing. I really do hope for Metroid. Like if we're gonna say one thing and just leave this be, give me Metroid. That's all I want.
That'd be
2D,
great.
3D, I don't care. Just let me play Metroid again.
Here we go. Metroid. Wait for it. Live action Netflix series. Could it happen?
Oh,
Who knows?
man.
I'd watch it.
Totally.
Everything's going Netflix these days.
Yeah,
That's
no
true. That
kidding.
would be
And
sweet.
actually, Metroid, that actually sounds pretty cool.
That would be sweet.
That would be sweet.
Like The Witcher's going Netflix.
Oh, that's dope. I'm
yeah,
into that.
I know you are. You love that game. Your
I
review
actually
of it
really,
was
really
quite
did.
good too,
I loved
even though
that
you
game.
hated it.
Yes.
You did.
I'm a complicated man. But, a Metroid series, that could be cool. And, since you guys are saying, like, people ask for Metroid, but they don't buy the games, maybe that would be a cool way to just, like, breathe some life into the franchise.
Sure.
Go outside, and like, instead of doing a game, do something outside of a game. Do a feature film or a series.
Yeah, they need to reinvent Metroid. I think. Like Metroid is a series that like people that like me or you would have grown up with, and we would probably like buy it immediately just by hearing the name. In most cases, don't get me wrong, I did not buy Federation Force, and I never will.
Yeah,
but
well.
but I guess like for me, like anytime the word Metroid is like named, I will buy it. And I've had great experiences, and I've had some of the worst experiences with Metroid. If you never played Other M, it is one of the worst games I've ever played. To this day, I still hate that game. It's in my top 10 hated games of all time.
What if they were to make Metroid, and this is not an official rumor, this is probably never going to happen, but what if they were to make Metroid an action survival horror game?
Like DayZ?
I don't know what Daisy is.
Of course you don't.
Like Resident Evil 7, Dave. That's what I think that's what he's
sorry,
getting at.
I keep thinking I have to think more mainstream when I talk to you sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
All right, that's okay.
No, but
That's fine.
imagine it, because it's a first-person game now.
Sure.
But imagine, like, seeing the Metroid is legitimately terrifying, because it would be.
You know what Nintendo might be doing? Nintendo might be waiting to release their next Metroid game when they invest in VR. It's like putting on Samus's helmet.
So never? We're never going to see Metroid again.
Never gonna
You've
happen.
heard it here first.
Literally never gonna happen.
David Reed says never going to happen.
No, I all I want is Metroid. I mean, there are a lot of franchises I like. Like, if they announce a Kirby game, I'm just going to be like, here's 2 middle fingers and thanks for nothing. I don't care. If they give me a Pikmin, this is my personal thing. Pikmin is my favorite game of all time, probably the original for GameCube.
Okay.
I really, really want to switch Pikmin. I really do. Do you guys think... Let's not think about Nintendo franchise anymore.
Okay.
Let's think about the Switch itself. What do you expect this Nintendo to announce Switch-wise? Like, in terms of what the hardware can do,
color.
what it's going to do.
Oh,
They're going to have a crazy color controllers.
They already
I'm sure.
do. There's yellow ones coming out for ARMS.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I would expect...
They'll look like bananas.
Oh,
Yeah. But it's not Donkey Kong. Oh, Donkey Kong! Well, we need a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
All right, we need one of those. All right, so,
Yeah.
but like Virtual Console, right? Like, what are we expecting Virtual Console wise?
Anything?
Besides Neo Geo games? Because Neo Geo was like the thing.
I would love to see like GameCube and Wii titles
Oh,
on there, or N64. I mean, give me
DS.
something that's relatively recent.
Well, we just have to make sure the control scheme works, right? Now, technically, there are C buttons, in a sense, on the Switch. Like, you
Right.
can imagine C buttons working on that. So, N64 could be a thing. That would be very cool.
That would be real cool. I would love to see them do some kind of backwards compatibility, not backwards compatibility, obviously, because it doesn't take the discs, but if they could go back and do Wii U titles on the Switch, man, that would be sweet, because that
Well, in a
gives
way
a
they
lot of
are.
incentive to do that.
In a
Well,
way,
they're
they
re-releasing
are.
them.
Yeah, you have to rebuy
But I mean, if
them,
they did a virtual store where you can get some of those titles,
because Wii U did it. Like, the other day, I just bought like a Wii game on the Wii U digitally, which is kind of neat, and I'm able to play this game, and it works. And that's kind of important too, like, especially if a game like was a GameCube game, for example. Like, GameCube, you cannot play on flat screen TVs; it looks horrendous. So to be able to play those games like where they've been modified to work on a flat screen, that would be important to me. There's been parts of where I kind of figured, like, why release all this stuff? Like, it's easily accessible to some degree, right? Via emulators, or if you still own it. But have you ever played an NES game, SNES, GameCube game on a flat screen? It's bad, like real bad. So it actually makes sense to re-release this stuff. Now I'll buy it, some of it depends.
Yeah.
But I think the Switch itself is due for like a major like system firmware hardware upgrade. Like,
it's been out for
here's
3
a new-
months.
No. Yeah, with you know what you can do with your friends, right? I can remove your best
Well,
friend.
yeah,
view. I
yeah,
can't do
nothing.
anything
Firmware,
else.
yes. Firmware,
Can I
it could
communicate with you?
absolutely use.
Yeah,
a
so
big-
don't
You
get
said
off your
the word
high
hardware.
horse,
Yeah.
Jason.
You said hardware.
You said hardware.
Which is just absurd. By the way, I
All
agree,
encompassing.
because a new dock would probably be cool.
That
since
actually-
the dock is so stupid.
and broken, and it will ruin.
Yeah.
the
There is
Switch.
wait. This reminds me, there is a new dock coming.
Really?
Yes, I can't remember what game it's for, but it's some game is getting. You can buy a bundle where the dock comes with like a picture or like a design on the dock.
You drunk?
No, I can't remember. But it's still gonna scratch your
that's
stupid system.
silly.
They didn't make any functional changes to it.
Yeah.
That's
What a missed opportunity.
I'm really excited to see what
Felt.
they do firmware.
Put a piece of felt inside. It's fine.
You can go on Etsy and just find like stuff to stop all that from happening.
I just
which
put
is
a
cool.
dumb screen protector on my.
That also works too.
Fine.
You know,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like beyond games, I think that their online service is going to really be fleshed out. Like, it's going to be cool. The Virtual Console hopefully is going to really expand to something broader.
And you
than
think
the
these are
Wii
things
and the
that they'll
Wii U.
talk about
I
during
really
their
do. I really think that they're going to expand on this, or at least give us the idea that these things are coming. Right? You know,
I don't know.
Nothing
I feel
is
like
immediate for them. So
I feel like it's too soon for them to do. I don't think we're going to see that yet. I think that they're going to do that in their own
The
Nintendo
ability to
Direct
move
when nobody else
data.
is doing anything else.
that's another big deal. Like, I just picked up a memory card for my Switch, which is great, except I can't move data from my system to my memory card. You can do that on every other Nintendo system that ever used external memory. For whatever reason, you can't on the Switch. So I'm hoping that will
my
be
God.
an update.
So many stupid things.
There's
that
so
they're-
many terrible design choices, like almost like they rushed to get it out when it doesn't feel like it's a rushed product, but you can see where all these like little inconsistencies are. It's
Yeah.
frustrating, you know. Like, I can't message you to play like, hey, I want to play Mario Kart with you. Like, I still have to call you on my phone. That's stupid. I should
really
never have to do that.
Yeah. But that's been the DwnFwdPUNChcast. That's our supersized E3 predictions episode. If you would like to follow the group on Twitter, you can do so at DwnFwdPunch. That's at DwnFwdPunch. Or if you'd like to follow me directly, I am at Sergio Armani.
I'm at Cobradectal.
And David,
How does Twitter work again? I forget. Is it my stage name or my real name?
Your handle.
It's your ad.
Yeah, because
What's
like
your ad?
I don't actually remember what my ad is, but I have like
That's the important part. If you don't know that, you don't.
I changed like my display name or something. Is
That doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't matter anyways because it's not like you're really on there.
I don't
So
actually have
since you prefer not to communicate via Twitter,
Right.
how would you like to stay in touch with our audience this week?
Well, there's always different ways to get a hold of me. I mean, I've told you a lot about them. I would actually like to have you this week. I'd like to have you like visit me personally. I'll give you my address. It won't be on here. I'll write it in the comments or something. But I'd like to have people visit my house like specifically. I think that would be kind of nice. You know?
There you go.
Like, when's the last time you like somebody just walked over to your house and was like, "Hey man, I was in the neighborhood."
Are you telling me that nobody took you up on your GPS coordinates from like 3-4
No,
weeks
of
ago?
course not. No.
And nobody visited you in the hospital
They
a
were
couple weeks
incorrect
ago?
coordinates because I was still a little afraid of the internet. I mean, you never know. There's people out there a little crazy.
Yeah.
But like, think about it. Like, what if you were just like sitting home, like I knocked on your door, I was like, "Hey man, I was just in the area. I just thought I'd say hey, like how's it going?" And you're like, "Oh, what a nice surprise! Come on in. We're making dinner. Let's have a little chat." And,
That's what you can do with the viewers of our show.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to eat dinner with Dave, and we've
live-
seen how good you are at making food.
Oh, I'm really good at it, actually.
Eggs were a little bit of a struggle for you. But if you like to...
Don't you like cardboard with your eggs? Because you put the whole thing in there, and it really...
Or styrofoam.
Is it styrofoam? It is styrofoam.
Yeah.
Well, there's both.
Yeah, you know what, you're right. I think egg crate might be more of a cardboard thing.
Yeah, and as long as you don't mind shell in your egg as well, too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Progress.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And until we see you next time, keep on gaming.